Esperanza TV presents Taste and See. The story for today: God surpassed my dream.
My name is Iris Figuero, and I live in Fall River, Massachusetts. I am a Dominican psychologist. A few years ago, I met someone who shared a powerful testimony. I met someone who had made a pact with God regarding increasing his income, and we, the little group listening to him, were just stunned because, how come? And the pact was that he was going to start giving, not the tithe amount based on what he was earning, right? He was going to start giving a tithe based on what he wanted to earn. I found it so inspiring that I decided to do the same. So when he told his story, some people said, "Oh yeah, we'll try that, sure." But no one else actually did it except me. So I did kneel down and said, "Lord, look how interesting this thing my friend told me is," because I like to talk to God like a friend. I'm telling this to God and I say, "Lord, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to start doing this." I would start returning tithes and offerings, not based on what I earned, but on what I dreamed of earning. I spent almost 9 months being faithful to that commitment, even without seeing immediate changes, until a great job opportunity came up in my country when I hadn't even applied for. I made this pact with God. I did it thinking I already had a job offer in this country. Lord, you can make this offer happen, and that's it. You've done your part. As if I had the ability to help God with anything. So, God said, "No, my daughter, that's not how it works." And then he brought me a job I wasn't expecting. And with this job, I started earning not the amount I had set for myself, right? Because I was tithing based on the amount I wanted to earn. So I ended up earning way more than what I had agreed on with God. Interestingly, I never doubted that it would come true. I always waited because it wasn't my timing, but God's timing. But there is a little bit of anxiety in those first moments. And a whole year went by, not 8 or 9 months, almost a full year, until God fulfilled what I had agreed with him. The salary was double what I had been dreaming of. When that happened, I also received another opportunity to come work here in the United States. The process ended. I was able to come work in this country thanks to that offer. And well, here I am. It's a job that has blessed me immensely. I'm convinced that it was God who opened that door. During the pandemic, neither my family nor I were affected financially. The God we have is the owner of everything. It seems like we don't believe it. We don't believe that he owns everything. And since we don't believe it, we don't trust that he can provide for us. But if we just put our trust in him, if we simply decide that no matter what happens, we will see God's hand at work. Every year, I renew my commitment of faithfulness to God because I have seen his hand working clearly and powerfully in my life. And I really have said, well, I'm going to set aside your portion and you make up the rest of the rent, and you make up the rest of the car payment, or you make up the rest for the other things. And God has never, ever let me down. That's just how it is. It's just that we have to try it ourselves. Try it. Don't get desperate, because I waited almost a year for God to make it happen. But if you try it, if you dare to test it, you will see God's hand at work. For me, this has been a living testimony that God honors covenants made with sincerity. Put it to the test. Taste and see.
Now let us prepare to be faithful to God with our tithe and offerings.